Well, there's about 6,000 students who are getting ready to have this cough that I have probably. I think I infected them all out there a second ago, so I apologize to the students. Man, it was a great win for our program. Really proud of our players. That was a heck of a win. You know, our guys hung in there. We made every mistake that we could make humanly possible in the first half. And the guys just kind of kept hanging in there and battling, and really thought we had a good mentality at halftime. Didn't really get a sense that anybody had panicked or anything. And, man, we just came out defensively in the second half and just played lights out. To just get the stops that we had defensively when we needed to. You know, they kept extending the lead. We couldn't get it down to under a two-score game for a while. And then, man, just the defense really just took over. And thought those guys played exceptional down the stretch. Thought Max Duggan continues to, you know, play as good a football as any quarterback I've ever been around. I mean, he just does everything that he can to help your football team win. You know, he had to run the ball a bunch tonight. He got hit a bunch. He's just a tough guy, you know, and I'm so proud of him. Just a fun win. I'm happy for our student body and our fans, and but mostly, like I said, our players. I thought those guys showed great resolve by just, you know, playing hard and kind of rolling their sleeves up and going to work in the second half and figuring out a way to win the game.
Well, at the end of regulation, was there a chance that Max wasn't going to play? Because Chandler looked like he was getting ready.
Yeah, I mean, Max got a little dinged, but I don't think it got real far down the line. I mean, I think Max was going to play no matter what, you know. I think he kind of felt like that, you know, that's what he wanted to do. And I think it was his arm that got banged up a little bit. Again, you got to give him a ton of credit, man. He just made a bunch of big plays, took care of the ball again like he has been this season, and just really played well.
It seemed like Oklahoma State made a real concerted effort, both offensively and defensively, to keep your offense off the field. Did you get that sense?
Yeah, they had a good plan, I thought, coming in. I mean, I thought they, you know, really got us off balance early in the game. You know, I thought their offense got our defense a little bit out of sorts. They ran, you know, a couple of trick plays and caught us on some stuff early and rattled us probably a little bit. But once we settled in, I thought we played great defense. I mean, you look at it, it was 14-0 right out of the chute, and then, you know, gave up 9 more points the rest of the game. So, again, I thought we played exceptional defense against a very good Oklahoma State offense. I mean, Spencer Sanders is a hell of a quarterback, and, we were going to have to get those stops to have a chance to get back in the game, and that's why they were so big.
Another huge day by Quinn. Is it safe to kind of say you guys have pretty much unlocked and found a really good role for him now?
Yeah. I mean, Quentin's, you know, I think, again, he and Max are just believe in each other and trust each other and are on the same page. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you know, we call plays sometimes with the intent for the ball to go to someone else, and Max throws it to Quentin. You know, I mean, those two guys are just on the same page and thinking the same way and seeing things the same way. So, you know, I think he trusts Quentin too to, if he wants to take a shot, throw it up and let Quentin go battle for it. And we didn't really catch any of those kind of throws today, other than that long post early. But I thought he was very workmanlike. He just does such a great job, you know, attacking after he catches the ball. I think people really probably overlook that part of Quentin's game, just how good he is after the catch. And I think it showed up today.
Multiple scores early, then going into halftime. What did you tell your players when you went into the locker room at halftime?
Well, the big thing was we felt like we'd played about as bad as we could in the first half, and there's still a 2-score game. You know, I just thought we just made a lot of mistakes. I mean, you know, Dede fumbles a punt. I've never seen him do that. I've never seen him drop one in practice. It's a left-footed punter, you know, and that's a weird ball coming off a left footer's foot. And we tried to simulate it this week with our jugs machine, but it just wasn't the same. He kind of Aussie punted it, and just, you know, it's a hard punt to catch. And so we did that, which, again, is very uncharacteristic. That was big. Yeah, that was big. Yeah, to get a stop there I thought was huge because the thing could have gotten out of control at that point. You know, I think Oklahoma State had the momentum, and we had to get 2 or 3 stops defensively to give us a chance to win in critical situations, and I think that was certainly one of them because, like I said, we were out of sorts, and so we needed to try to keep the game as close as we could, and I thought, you know, getting that touchdown at the end of the half I thought was big. And then, being able to, to stop them when we needed to down the stretch, I thought was really critical.
Coach, the touchdown at the end of regulation with Max, is that a special kind of play for that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we run quite a bit, red zone on the goal line. At that point of the game, you just kind of want to put the ball in people's hands that you trust, and Kendra and Max were going to be the guys down the stretch that were going to win it for us. And let me just say this, I mean, I thought our offensive line played as good as I've seen an offensive line play in a long time. And we ran the football really well today. Kendra was 112 yards. I think it ended up netting 104. They were tough yards, but I thought our guys blocked them incredibly well, played very physical. To me, that was the thing we talked a little bit about in overtime was do we want to go for two, or excuse me, in regulation, do we want to go for two at the end of regulation? Do we want to just kick it? We scored with too much time left really to go for two, but, we felt like as long as the game got extended, that was good for us because I felt like we had the momentum, felt like we were really playing physical up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So as long as the game continued, we felt like we had an opportunity to win it.
So a couple weeks ago, you were in tears a little bit over Max Duggan, the performance at SMU. Just what has he meant to this team in another way?
Well, I think he's kind of symbolic a little bit of this football team. I think he's we're kind of a team of overachievers, I think, in some ways. I think just looking at kind of where we were projected and where we were picked and all this, and it's still early. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're 3 games in a conference schedule and 9-game conference schedule, so we're a third of the way in. But we've won some big games. Some guys have played really, really hard. And I think the bottom line is I think the guys love each other and trust each other and really don't want to let each other down. And I think that's when you have a football team that cares that way, it just makes everybody around them better. I mean, it makes the scout team guys perform better on Tuesday and Wednesday. It makes the guys in the weight room want to work harder. I mean, it raises the level of commitment and care when you really are invested in people like these guys are each other. And so it's just a fun group to be around. They love playing football. They really enjoy playing for each other. And and I think the thing that we're learning is just, look, we've got to get to good enough players where if we'll just play and not pay attention to the score, whether we're behind or ahead, just focus on playing the next play, that we have a chance to win some tough, hard-fought games, which we really have the last couple of weeks.
Coach, can you explain that substitution rule? It looks like you were fired.
Yeah, I got mad. I got madder than I should have about it, but it's supposed to happen a little faster. I'll just say that. And so anyway, I thought the officials, I thought Oklahoma State did a good job of exploiting the way it was being called in the first half, and I thought the officials did exactly what they were supposed to do. They corrected it, and we got over it and moved on.
This is the fourth week in a row. This is the 4th week in a row where you guys have obviously had a big game. SMU, and then followed by Kansas, and then followed by playing Oklahoma at home. I mean, and then you go down 14-0. Where does it kind of come from to not let that get out of hand?
Yeah. It's weird is I thought for the first time this season I thought we were a little tight tonight. I thought we were in the first half against Colorado, and I thought we played a little tight tonight. And I don't know, maybe they picked that up for me. I tried not to, to give them any kind of reason to think of this any differently. But, it just seemed like we played a little bit to not make mistakes in the first half instead of playing free. And I think that's what makes these guys good is they play free. They, we try to allow them to play fast. We don't want them to think too much. We've got good team speed. We want to be able to play to our strengths and let the guys go play football without having to overanalyze too much. It's like I said, it's a fun team to be around, and I love the way the way the guys work. But I did get that sense early that we were probably a little tight.
What impact did Bud Clark make in his, especially at the end of the game? What type of impact did he just make for you guys on defense?
Well, I think it gives us confidence. I do, because that's a very good offensive football team. They got a great scheme. They got a fantastic quarterback. They're always good up front and physical and do a good job running the ball. And to me, I thought that was the biggest part. I mean, you could just see as the game went on, we started to win the line of scrimmage more defensively. I thought that was really big. Started to pressure the quarterback more. And the thing that we did, and we've done it at times this year, is play complementary football. You know, when the offense kind of hit their rhythm, that's when the defense really started to play well, and then the offense fed off of that, and I think they fed off of each other. And, you know, when we play good, we're a pretty good football team, and when we don't, you know, we're pretty average. And so that's going to be important for us to learn that, understand it, and get better and keep improving.
I read today that there were, this is the second time in college football history that there were 3 games between two 5-0 teams.
Yeah.
A lot of eyes were on the Alabama game today and the Michigan-Penn State game. I'm wondering, for you guys here to be one of those teams in that game, to win that game, to be undefeated going into the end of October, you know, so early in your...
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it means we got a bunch of good players. I mean, it really does. It means that the guys are doing what we ask them to do, and they're talented guys. You know how this stuff goes. I mean, you know, we talked about this way of climbing up the ladder. You know, as you have success, then more is expected of you, and you got to be able to carry that load. You know, and felt like it was a little bit of a hard load for us to carry early. Felt like we played a little tight, as I said, and but you know, once we decided, hey, look, we're just going to relax and play, then we gotta, you know, then we played well. It's going to be important on us to just emphasize, look, this is a 1 week at a time. What have you done for me lately, business? And you know, historically, our teams have gotten off to good starts and not finished very well, and so it's going to be a challenge for us to finish down the stretch. We know that, and this is a different team. It doesn't matter what happened in the past here or where I've been. It's going to be we're going to write a different story, but you know, our guys know that, you know, you just got to play well in this league, and you can't have any letdown. If you don't, you're going to get beat. And you know, I just loved our effort and competitiveness today. I thought we showed a great spirit and just kept battling.
Last week, of course, Quentin Johnston catches the game-winning catch. This week, a bunch of big catches on your game-tying drive. What kind of prepares him for this moment? What makes him so good in those moments?
Yeah, he's a really talented young man that works incredibly hard and really has a burning desire to be a great player. You know, Quentin's not a Instagram guy, and you know what I mean? I mean, he's not a big social media guy. He just likes to play football. And he's very competitive. He works very hard. He's been blessed with a lot of talent, and he knows that and understands it and honors it by working hard and doing what he's supposed to do. And so when you have young people that are built that way, it's pretty special. Those are just, you know, they're fun guys to be around, and you know, wish I had a whole lot more time with Quentin. You know, I'm afraid I'll be watching him on Sundays next year.
It's early, but this is the same group of guys basically as last year. You've made some additions. The biggest change is you and your staff. Is that the biggest reason?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, if we didn't have any good players, we wouldn't be 6-0. I promise you. It starts with those guys, and again, it's really has been their approach, honestly, more than anything else. You know, they just have done what we ask them to do, and they've trusted us every step of the way. And you know, some of the stuff was different than they've done in the past, and they just believed that we were leading them down the right path. And again, I've done this 4 times where you go take over a program, and these guys bought in fast. You know, and that's not always the way it is. Sometimes it takes a while. And you know, it goes back to what I said earlier. This football team loves to play football. They like to practice. They like to play. They like to compete. You know, guys in the locker room right now, I mean, they were already excited about, you know, having a chance to play next Saturday. I heard them talking more about that than I did anything else. And so that's the kind of team, you know, that these guys are, and it's a blast when you get to be around them every day.
Funny that TCU had lost 20 straight games when they were trailing by 2 touchdowns in there in the fourth quarter. You're playing an Oklahoma State team that wins a lot of games and knows how to win.
Yeah.
What is that like? How do you teach a team how to win?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you just, you know, kind of goes back to what I said earlier. You have to have some kind of confidence in yourself to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you got to believe, you know what, we can really come back. And collectively, it has to happen, and it really has to happen individually. Those players have to make a decision. Or can we do this? And the only way that they can believe that they can is by having confidence. And the only way you can have confidence is by earning it, by working, preparing, knowing that you're ready to take on anything. And these guys have done that. And so when we got down and things weren't going our way, I think we just really, truly kept our head down and believed, look, if we'll just, you know, do our job and play hard, good things will happen in the second half. And like I said, I thought our defense played lights out, and we strung together some huge drives on offense, and we're able to get a win.
How's it
Two more
feel,
questions.
how's it feel to be bowl eligible?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but it's good, man. I mean, it's, I like it. It feels better not being bowl eligible.
What can you say about Bud?
Yeah, Bud. Yeah, man. Good to get Bud back. I mean, he made some big plays today. He's a guy that has been banged up, and we've kind of been waiting for him to get back healthy. He's loves to play. One of those players that has a spirit about him. Just competes hard. Loves to play. Has a knack for the football. He really has great instincts. Knows where the ball's going to be thrown, and really breaks well on the ball. And I mean, I see him all the time in practice. He intercepts passes all the time. He anticipates throws. He just understands football. Okay, thank you guys.